today being Wednesday. If you have a Bible, I want to encourage you to look at Isaiah 61 verses 1 to 3. Isaiah 61 verses 1 to 3. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance for our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. So for these devotionals lately, we've been talking about this idea of hope, and the idea of hope being this future thing that helps us, propels us forward, something that we can look forward to. One of the things I think about hope today is the idea of why we need hope. It's because oftentimes we face adversity. Now, the reality is, no matter who you are, no matter what age you are, what your ethnicity is, whatever your status is in life, we all suffer adversity. Adversity doesn't discriminate. And when we suffer adversity, oftentimes that's when we long for hope. But it's in those moments that I think is what I find as a challenge and encouragement today from this passage. At some point during our adversity, so during this COVID thing, or at some point during whatever struggle you're in, sometimes you just need to get back to doing what you should be doing. And that's what I find in this passage from Isaiah. He's saying very simply, I came to give good news to the poor, to heal the brokenhearted, to set people free. And that was Isaiah's purpose. Now, what's even greater about this is that at some point, Jesus, when he starts his earthly ministry, he takes up this same passage and says, hey, this is what I'm about. And when Jesus came on this earth, he suffered great adversity as well, but he always stuck to what his purpose was, what he was called to do. If you call yourself a Christian, like I do, we're called to go and make disciples of all people. We're called to take the good news of Jesus to everyone. And so I want to just remind us of this very simple truth today. Sometimes in the midst of our challenges, we need to get back to doing what we should be doing. And that's what God has called us to do, to go and take the good news of Jesus to people who need it, to the poor, not only those who are physically poor, but spiritually poor, mentally poor, emotionally poor. We're all broken, and so we're supposed to bring healing to the broken. So we need mental healing, physical healing, emotional healing, to set people free. The whole reality of the Christian life is that it gives you freedom to really live life the way God has called us to live, to not be stuck and bound by things. We're not bound by money. We're not bound by status. We're not bound by rules and regulations. We're given freedom. And so I want to challenge us to think this through again and remind ourselves of this simple thing. Whatever the challenges you face, and if you're looking for hope, sometimes hope isn't just something you dream about or think about. Sometimes hope is action. Go back to doing the things you're supposed to do. If you're called to be a mother, be a good mother. If you're called to be a good husband, be a good husband. If you're called to work as an orthodontist, be the best orthodontist you can be. If you're called to, in retirement, to just call up a friend because that's all you do, that's fine. Do that. Do what it is that God has called you to do. For some of us, that needs more exploration and understanding our call, but this is very simple here. Anyone who calls themselves a Christian, take the good news of Jesus to everyone, because at some point, there are people everywhere who are poor, broken, who are bound and need healing, need freedom, and need to know they're loved by God. So that's it for me this week on Pastor's Corner. Hope that encourages you. We'll see you next time. Love and peace.